Hello and welcome to this month's market update. I'm joined by Phil Naylor, member of our capital markets and asset allocation team. Welcome, Phil.
Thanks.
So we're into December, final month of the year. Could you give us a recap of what's been driving equity returns for the last month?
Yeah, certainly equities have continued higher. There's been a couple of things going on. Definitely investors have seen some optimism going into the UK election, hopes that there'll be a resounding result there, and then also hopes that the US and China could come to some sort of trade agreement. And we've seen both those events unfold now where the Conservative Party in the UK have got a solid majority, so that will be supporting investor sentiment there, and also the US and China have agreed on the first phase of a trade deal. So those two things certainly helping boost equity prices recently.
Great, good to see some political decisions resolved for now. And let's move on to 2019. Given we're at the end of the calendar year, what do you think have been the key themes over the past year?
Yeah, so I think if you look back at 2019, the big story really has been the global economy softening, but at the same time central banks easing, and that central bank easing has definitely helped equity prices go up, but also bond yields go down. So both equities and bonds have performed quite well, so it's somewhat unique that you get so many asset classes all doing quite well over a calendar year. And the fall in bond yields has also helped real assets, so investments in infrastructure and property have also done quite well.
Excellent. So casting our mind forward to 2020, what would be your key predictions or maybe themes that you think would be important?
Yeah, so always hard to predict, but I think three themes that could unfold next year. One is policy space. So as I've said, central banks have been easing. That's helped equities over the last 12 months. But the flip side is that there are now a number of central banks that don't have a lot of policy space. So if we did see a further deceleration, it will be interesting for investors to see just how policymakers could respond in some of those countries. The second one's going to be technology. Both we think, technology is obviously a big multi-year event that we think about how technology can evolve and support economic growth. But I think the other thing more in the near term is earnings. We've seen in the US, part of the strength in equities has been driven by technology stocks. And so one of the themes in the sort of coming quarters and years ahead will be if those companies can really deliver on those high hopes of earnings. And I think third's got to be politics. Again, hard to predict, but we know going into next year there is a US presidential election. All signs at the moment are that that'll be a pretty close election result, so that'll be something investors will be watching very closely.
Great, thank you. So we'll see if the retail Christmas spend boosts the economy for next year, and also the US election is always a big one for the media. So thank you very much for the insights, Phil, and thank you to you for joining us.